Welcome to Flash Tutorial Request 14 Variables. I've been asked to do a very simple tutorial on variables. I'm starting with a new FLA, ActionScript 3, and this layer I'm going to call AS, ActionScript. Select in frame 1, open in the Actions panel. If you don't have the Actions panel here docked, open up Window, and there it is there, Action panel. And we're going to declare a variable. A variable is just, all it is a place to put information. And in the case of this tutorial, it's going to be a place to put a number that we can look at, change, do things, test, do whatever we want. So to declare a variable, we have to type var, V-A-R, with a space. It will turn purple to let you know it's a reserved word that represents code. Let's call this first variable, F-I-R-S-T V-A-R. That's the name, first variable, F-I-R-S-T. And you can give this any name you wish as long as it doesn't turn a different color. Then you put a colon, and this pop-up menu comes. We're going to make it a number, and as soon as number appears here, hit enter and say equals, in this case, 0, semicolon. There, we've declared a variable. So let's look at that variable. So let's do a trace. T-R-A-C-E turns blue, as did number up here turn blue. Open bracket. I'm going to copy this variable name and paste it in here, and I'm going to put a close bracket in the semicolon, and there we've declared our variable, and we're going to run this little program, and it will put the value 0 in this output panel. There is 0. That's all it did. Let's go back to that action script. Let's put a 3 in here, for example, and run it. Of course, you know what's going to happen. It's going to trace 3. So you can see the variable, anytime we use that word first, var, it's going to represent whatever value we have put in here. Let's go back to scene 1. Let's insert a layer. And I like my actions layer to be on top, so I'm going to click on it, click and drag it up top. And I'm going to call this button, B-U-T-T-O-N. I'm going to insert a frame on frame 2. Right click, insert a blank keyframe. I'm going down to my workspace here. I have the rectangle selected, but you can have anything you wish. There, I'm drawing a rectangle. I'm going to use my selection tool, highlight it, modify it. I'm going to convert this to a symbol, and I'm going to make sure button is selected here, and I'm going to call it again, A-G-A-I-N underscore B-T-N. Call anything you want as long as it's not just a straight reserved word. Right click, I'm going to copy that. The reason I'm copying it is so that I can put it in my properties panel so I can write code on it. So I have it highlighted. It says it's a button. We gave it the instance of called again button, and now to write code we have to put something in here, and in this case I'm just going to type in the same or paste in the same name, but you could give it any name you want, again, as long as you're not using reserved for it words. Select this frame 2 of the actions layer, right click, insert a blank keyframe, open that panel, and type in this code. Type. We're going to put a stop, S-T-O-P, open close bracket semicolon, stop turns blue. This is so that when we start this program, it'll go to frame 1, set up the variable 3, trace it, and automatically jump into frame 2, where it will stop, waiting for us to push this button and this is the code that's waiting for this button to be pushed. AGAIN underscore BTN, capital A, that's that button we just made, that's the instance name, period. Add event listener, small a, capital E, capital L, turns blue. Open bracket, most event, capital M, capital E, that turns blue, period. Click, all capital letters, CLICK, that turns blue, comma, and I'm going to call this function pull again, capital P, ULL, capital AGAIN, close bracket, semicolon. That is waiting for the button to be pushed. When the button gets pushed, it will run whatever function's going on in this function down here. Function, FUNCTION, turns purple. I copied this name, paste it in here, open bracket, event, small EVENT, colon, copy this most event, paste it in, close bracket, colon, void, void is the same color as function, and open curly bracket for my function. Now I want to do something with that variable. So let's go back and make sure we get the variable name. I'm selecting frame 1, and I'm going to copy this variable name. First var, just copying it, going back to this frame 2, and in here after this curly bracket, now I put entered and see this close curly bracket comes. That's the close off of this function. And in here I'm going to paste that variable, and then I'm going to say make that variable equal to 444, semicolon. So for us to make sure we can see this, we're going to do another trace. TRACE, open bracket, I can paste it in, first variable, close bracket, semicolon. So now when we run this program, the first thing that's going to happen is going to jump into frame 1 where there's no button yet. You won't see this as it's going to be very fast, and we're going to trace the value 3. So 3 will be on our output panel. It'll very quickly jump into frame 2 where it will stop and just sit there until we press the button. When we press the button, we'll trace 444. There's the 3, there's the button, and when I press this, 444. Every time I press this button, 444, because we're staying on that frame 2. I hope you learned something from this tutorial, and I hope you use what you learned.